Hello, YouTubers, collectors, Predator fans. Today I have a short review for you. I'll be doing the Predator 2 City Hunter 1/6 scale collectible from Hot Toys. Um, Really nice figure. I just want to touch on some of the major changes that they've made, and some of the differences and similarities between the original release that they did here, as well as touch on some of the things I've heard online about the head sculpt. So I want to touch on that a little bit briefly. That's why I've got my Shadow Predator, or my custom Shadow Predator, out here. I'll also be kind of comparing with the classic head and the battle damaged Predator 2 head. So stick with me, guys. Hopefully this is a good review and there's some good information that you can take from it. The first thing that I really like that they changed is the biomask. And I've always loved the Predator 2 biomask, but this one just takes the cake, guys. It looks menacing. It looks exactly how you want it to look. I mean, the original had kind of this divot in the middle of it, kind of like a dent, and it had a really rough texture. The new one is a lot smoother, and they got rid of that dent, which I think is nice. It's also scaled down. The head isn't so big. It's not such a bobblehead anymore. And you can see here, if I put it side by side with this head, how much bigger that other head really is. I mean, and how prominent that dent right there is. I'm so glad that they got rid of that. But yeah, so you can see that. That's the first major difference. Second difference that I noticed was the dreads. The dreads are, I don't want to say much shorter, but definitely shorter than in this release, the prior release. The new City Hunter has beautiful dreads. They flow well. They look nice. They're just not as long as I'd hoped. But the paint application is really nice on them. The armor itself, I've heard another reviewer say that it was just brown. It was plain brown armor. Well, that's not true, because I'm sitting here looking at it, and I don't know if the light's picking it up, but there's actually some really fine detailing. It almost looks like a copper-like finish, where they've brushed on a copper-like finish over the whole armor setup. And it looks really good because they've added this aged look to the copper, kind of like you find on an old penny. I don't know how well you can see that, but it gives us this little bit of green in there with the copper, and it just looks phenomenal. The weathering job is phenomenal. The paint application on the main body is phenomenal, and overall, just the guy looks great. I mean, they went the extra mile with this guy, because I mean, proportionately, he doesn't even feel like a figure. It feels like I'm looking at just a Predator. I mean, the old one, you can tell it's a figure. You got those weird joints, that weird chest articulation, and he just kind of felt wonky with that big head. The new one, no problems with it. You know, the joints are hidden well. He looks really good, and I mean, he can stand there and look like a badass, like a Predator is supposed to. So let's get on some more of the comparisons. The left gauntlet armor on the original Predator was kind of lacking in the detail department. Or the right gauntlet, I'm sorry, the bladed side. They addressed that here with the new one by really taking those details that were on the other one and just making them pop. I mean, they really just took all the little details and enhanced them. They did the same thing with the other arm. All the little details are enhanced. Now, you can see here that this forearm armor does not stick out as far as the other release does, which I will show you here. See how far that sticks away from the arm. And the reason that is because they have now taken the, I guess you could call it the hidden weapon that's in there. They shoots the flare at Danny Glover with. They've taken that now, and they've taken the whole system with the hinge system, and they put it into the arm, and that allows it to contour to the arm a lot sleeker and a lot closer, and it really gives it a much better effect, and it doesn't give it that Popeye look that the other one had. I think it looks really good. They both still have the flip down digital display, though I like the new flip down digital display. It's kind of hard to open, but not a big deal. Looks really good. It just looks just like the other one. They're both the same pretty much. Yeah. He's got his his smart disc. He's got a spear, but the unique thing about this new spear is it kind of has this copper wiring running through it that I've never seen it in any of the other Predator 2 figures. And you can see here that it doesn't have any of it. There's none of it here in the other one. But this one definitely has that, and it looks really, really cool. It looks really good. Some differences that I found are in the med kit. The original med kit, not much to it. It's just a piece of plastic, it clipped on the back. It didn't do anything. The new one, this thing's bad. It opens up. There's real tools in there. They're not just painted on pieces anymore. If I can get this open with one hand, you can see that there's actual tools in there, and this guy gets in trouble, he can really patch himself up. So they kind of went that extra mile and gave us that. And a lot of people are complaining, well, the paint app is bad, the paint app doesn't look good on it. Well, you know what, guys? This thing had about 2 minutes of screen time, and it's going to be on the back side of your Predator, so I wouldn't worry about it too much. You know what I mean? So, unless you're going to display them from the back, you could always go with the other Predator's med kit. They both connect the very same way. So, another thing I noticed that's changed is the net gun. And here's the net gun from the original release. And as you can see, it's kind of got this weird lever up here, some sort of handle or lever. And it's also got these gold highlighted, I guess they're the spikes that launch out and stick into the wall or whatnot. But they're gold highlighted and they look really good. The new City Hunter, however, kind of has this bland looking, I don't know, it doesn't feel like it's as much as the original. That's one thing that I think they really could have improved on. It doesn't have the little lever, it doesn't have the gold, it just kind of looks really bland, but it's there at least. The next thing, the severed arm. Yeah, so here's the original from the original release. And to me, it kind of just looks like alien blood, xenomorph blood. It's a little too dark to be Predator blood for me. And it doesn't really show much in the way of detail. It's just kind of globbed in there. The new one, however, bam, look at that. Look how bright that is. That definitely feels like Predator blood. And you can kind of see where the bone's been cut, and there's some muscle tissue and stuff in there. And I know people are saying, oh, the paint application looks sloppy. Well, guess what, guys? He just got his arm cut off, okay? It's bleeding. It's not supposed to look like, clean, okay? It's going to have blood on it. So I think that looks really good. Aside from, obviously, the white here, which I think I'll touch up, and it's the same on the other arm. You got this little white piece here on the back of the elbow. But other than that, it looks really good. It's a vast improvement. The next thing, and something that I was kind of bummed out about on both releases, was that we never got a palm for the left hand for holding the skull. But if you have a spare Shadow Predator laying around, if you got a spare Shadow Pred, he comes with a gripping hand for his sword, and that works perfectly for holding the skull. Not to mention the fact that the paint app and the glove that the Shadow Predator is wearing is exactly the same as the Predator 2. So pick one of those up, if you can find one for cheap, and you've got yourself a top of the Eastern building scene right there. Get the spear up, get the skull in the hand. So let's get down to the head. All right. The first thing I noticed right away with the head was the paint app. The paint app is just fantastic on this version. I'm not saying it was bad on the original release. I'm just saying that this version is so much better, and it looks so clean and so detailed. They really put that extra work into it. And here I'll do a side-by-side so you can actually see the difference. Get up close a little bit. And the comparison between this head and the Shadow Predator head. A lot of difference there, which I'll talk about in a little bit here. But yeah, this head is definitely Predator 2 to me. The look, the eyes, the mandibles, that's what a Predator is, man. That's how they express, and it's really captured and embodied in the original Predator 2. Not to say that this one isn't very good, it just isn't as Predator 2-y, I guess, because I can't think of a better word for it. But, it doesn't really matter to me because I am not going to display him with the closed mandibles. You know what? And they don't want to come out right now, and I'm not going to force them. Um, I'm going to be displaying him with the helmet, so it's not going to really matter to me. He looks great with the helmet, and he looks fine with the mandibles, personally. So I think he looks good either way. But I want to compare the head here between the Shadow and the City Hunter, and so that people can see that it is actually a completely new head sculpt. Look at the jawline here; it's very round. The jawline here is very straight out and jutted. Um, the crown itself, the outer rim, is completely different than the outer rim on this one. It's the 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 different, I guess the spikes that come out on the crown um, are not present on the Shadow Predator, obviously. Um, but on the outer rim, you can see that there's a lot more. I guess it's spikier. It's definitely spikier. It's pointier. There's more of them. And here it's kind of rounded. Not too much happening. I mean, and then you get to the mandibles, and I think that the mandibles look completely different. Here he's got slightly open mandibles, like he's in some sort of expression, and his fangs are really white, and they don't really look like fangs to me. They look like they forgot to paint them. Here, there's a lot of character there. They're closed. He's got those crazy green eyes, and you can see that there's just a lot more, or I'm sorry, that the jaws are completely different. It's closed, and here it's open. So that's definitely not a resculpt. Now, if anything, I'm going to compare this head with the classic, and you can see that there are a lot more similarities here than there are here. So to anyone that thinks that those are just rehashes of the same head, think again. It's completely different, guys. But yeah, so there you have it. In a nutshell, that's the Predator for you. Predator 2 City Hunter. Great figure. The original was great. I loved it when I got it, and it was awesome for its time. But this new one has totally dethroned it and taken its place. He looks fantastic. If you get a chance to get this guy, get him. Do not pass, guys, because this is a limited run, and I'm telling you, those guys on eBay, they're scalpers. They're going to get you in a couple years. This thing's going to be going for a couple $100 more than what it is right now. So snag one now and be set with it. Be happy with it, because he's a really good figure, and he fits in really well with the Shadow and the new classic Predator and the Predator's figures. He just looks really good. So that being said, I hope that you guys like the review. If you have any questions, just leave them in the comments section, and I'll try to get to them. Yeah, I hope that you liked it. I hope that it was a little bit informative for you. And like I said, he is the definitive Predator 2 figure. I mean, hands down, he beats the original in every way. The armor looks great. The paint application looks great. Sure, we could have used slightly longer dreads, but I mean, the dreads that they gave us, they flow really well, and they look really good. And then the face, obviously, people are going to complain about the sculpt, but the sculpt really isn't all that bad when you get down to it. It's actually a really good Predator sculpt. It just doesn't capture the Predator 2 look as much as the original figure did. Now, if they took that original figurehead and slapped this guy's paint job on it, we'd have one hell of a figure. But you can't ask for everything. You could always swap heads, if you've got a problem with it. But for me, I mean, he's fantastic. It's those little details that really count, and he's full of them. And I think that you'll find once you get the figure that you'll fall in love with it. I mean, it's great for the cost. I mean, this is definitely something that I would buy again. I mean, he's well worth it. And come on, guys, Predator 2. Represent. So, hope you liked the video. If you want, you can like this, and if you have any questions for me, just go ahead and leave those in the comment section. So, have a good night, guys. Take care.